One of the great challenges for the newly disabled is that much of their home environment may now be unsafe or inaccessible. What was once taken for granted, furniture, rugs, stairs, shelving, floors, chairs, halls, and doorways may now be too unsteady, too worn, too high, too slippery, too deep, too sharp, too narrow, or just plain in the way. The obstacles may be psychological as well. Patients who are ambulatory in one setting can become much less active in another. Learning to walk with a walk aid in a wide hospital rehab room is not the same as adjusting to your unique home environment. But with the appropriate mobility device and the proper instruction, many clients can find competence and safety in their familiar surroundings.
Now, it's not a good idea to have this many cords on a kitchen outlet.
Assessing the home is an essential step when initiating home care for patients requiring mobility aids.
In this video, we will demonstrate the importance of a thorough home assessment as it pertains to the three most commonly used mobility devices: canes, walk aids, and wheelchairs. Now, a proper home assessment concerns many people. I'm a physical therapist, and one of my responsibilities is to assess the home environment for as long as a client is receiving our services. This is Brad, a service technician. He also evaluates the home to ensure the safe use of mobility devices he delivers.
This is a little narrow. Why don't you turn sideways? And your left foot first, then your right.
And this is Cora, a nurse, with her patient, Cloyd Howard, who recently had a total knee replacement. When any one of us initiates home care, we are each required to assess the home environment. And the process doesn't end there. We reevaluate with every visit.
Home assessment may also involve insurance case managers who authorize the acquisition of mobility devices. Concerned with preventing injury and costly errors, they evaluate the patient's psychosocial and medical condition, as well as take into account the results of the home assessment. But the central figures of any home assessment are, of course, the patient and the caregiver themselves. It is their responsibility to understand, implement, and maintain the safe environment that the therapists, nurses, and technicians have recommended.
Home assessment for mobility devices is primarily concerned with preventing injuries and clarifying access issues in and around the house.
The goals of home assessment for mobility devices are to identify hazards and suggest ways to minimize the risk of falling, identify mobility restrictions and recommend ways to improve access, and educate the patient and caregivers as to the recommended interventions. Throughout the course of care, monitoring and documenting the client's understanding and compliance is crucial.
Let's talk a little about the mobility devices we're covering. First, canes. Canes aid balance and stability when walking or standing. There are three main types of canes: single canes, quad canes, when more support is needed and the user has the upper body strength to control it, and hemicanes, for clients suffering from hemiplegic or one-sided paralysis.
Okay, relax your arm, Beth. That's good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the height of the walk aid so it's even with the break in your wrist. Alrighty? Okay, you hold her arm, please. Alrighty. Might need to adjust it just one or two. Walk aids can be used when more stability is required than can be obtained through the use of, say, a cane or a crutch. Of course, the patient has to have good balance and coordination to make use of the walk aid. Okay, how's that?
Great.
Walk aids come in several variations: the standard pickup or rigid walk aid, the folding pickup walk aid, and either can be fitted with wheels to make the rolling walk aid. In addition, there are 3- and 4-wheeled walkers called rollators.
Wheelchairs come in a variety of sizes and styles, and some are more adjustable and maneuverable than others. The major aspects of a wheelchair that affect mobility in the home are overall chair width, overall chair length, and turning radius. Briefly, wheelchairs can be divided into a few broad categories: the standard folding wheelchair, which is 40 pounds or over; the lightweight wheelchair, which runs 34 to 38 pounds. In addition, there are also high-strength lightweight wheelchairs. The ultra-lightweight wheelchair, which falls between 23 and 28 pounds, and motorized wheelchairs.
Injuries to cane, walk aid, and wheelchair users most often occur when transferring to or from chairs, beds, and toilets, tripping over objects on the floor, loose rugs, flooring transitions, door thresholds, cords, slipping in or on wet surfaces, waxed smooth surfaces, bathtubs and showers, stairs, unsuitable shoes, and losing one's balance while reaching for something.
Now, whenever you're transferring from the wheelchair, first thing you want to do is engage both wheel locks, all right? All right, then we'll get the footrests up and out of the way. There you go. Okay, bring the walker in. Always keep your walking aid near or close to your bed or your chair so you have an immediate means of support, okay? All right, let's say you do the transfer. You remember how to do it?
A systematic approach helps ensure a thorough home assessment. We'll divide the home into 8 functional categories, examining each in detail. Lighting, furnishings, layout of the home, walking surfaces, passageways, stairways, kitchen storage, and bathrooms.
Shadowy or dark areas can hide tripping hazards. I'd suggest putting a brighter light in here. Oh, watch it, Cloyd.
Oh, that's my grandson's bear. His toys are everywhere.
Brighter light would help you see obstacles that might cause a fall.
Ensure sufficient background light for walking. Illuminate the path from bed to toilet area. Place light switches so that they are easily accessible upon first entering an area. Position light switches both at the top and bottom of staircases. Eliminate sources of glare. Install entrance lights that are motion or light sensitive.
Okay, now you see how that'll start to tilt you forward. All you have to do is keep pushing this button, all right?
Nice. It's like a lounge chair. I'm gonna miss my old chair. It was so comfy.
It was hard for you to get out of, though.
This is soft, it's comfortable, and it's safer too.
When recommending changes to a patient, emphasize that safety is always the top priority. Chairs that are too low require extra leg strength when standing up. Furniture should be stable when weight is applied. Beware of furniture with protruding corners or edges which could cause injury. Adjust chair or bed heights so that the feet can be placed firmly on the floor with knees flexed at 90 degrees. Many patients with disabilities move their bedroom to the first floor. This patient, for example, has put an adjustable semi-electric home care bed in her living room to be as close as possible to her bathroom.
That provides greater efficiency of movement. Efficiency that promotes safety is the guiding principle when reorganizing rooms and placing appliances such as telephones.
If proximity to the bathroom is not possible, then a bedside commode is highly recommended. To the extent possible, frequently used rooms should be near each other and on the same floor. Phones should be easily accessible and, if possible, cordless, so as not to add the tripping hazard of a cord.
You know, throw rugs can be dangerous. Your cane or you could slip on them.
But I like it here, and it keeps the floor clean.
Yeah, well, if you keep it, it's important to secure it to keep it from slipping. How about double stick tape?
Okay.
All right.
Mobility devices get better traction on dull or semi-rough surfaces. Floors should not be highly waxed. Thick pile carpet is a hazard for all mobility equipment. Transition points between floors and rugs are tripping hazards. They should be smoothed over or ramped. Thresholds in the doorways should be less than 1/2 inch high. Cords should be placed out of the flow of traffic. Passageways.
When it comes to passageways, doors, and hallways, access and maneuverability are key issues, especially for wheelchair users. The common barriers to independent use of a wheelchair in the home are stairs or other elevations, narrow hallways, and narrow doorways.
Doorways and hallways less than 30 inches wide present serious obstacles to wheelchair use. Ramps can ease the transition through entranceways. Exits from the home should remain unobstructed. it is strongly recommended to have 2 accessible exits from the home.
Now up with your strong leg, and then allow your other leg to come up with the cane. Strong foot, then your cane.
Well, sure a lot of stairs here. It's a good thing this is not a permanent injury.
You're right. If it were, you'd probably have to consider moving. But for right now, let's just go one step at a time.
Multiple stairs will require 2 caregivers for lifting and transporting a wheelchair user. Cane and walk aid users should have assistance on stairs. Steps in a staircase should all have the same height and width. No stairway should be without sturdy waist-high handrails that are 30 inches above the stairs and extend beyond the top and bottom step. The ends of the handrails should be specially shaped to define the top or bottom of the staircase.
Using a mobility device means creating new approaches to daily living, especially in the kitchen. It's important to keep needed items within reach. Accidents often occur when reaching for items that are too high or too low.
Items should be placed on shelves between hip and eye level, so that excessive bending, reaching, or climbing is not required. For wheelchair users, there is a comfortable reach limit, usually 34 to 46 inches. Make sure frequently used items are within that reach limit. Use small, light, non-breakable containers to limit the amount of weight that needs supporting during movement.
A large proportion of serious falls in the home take place in the bathroom, where the surfaces tend to be wet and slippery. The issue of safety in the bathroom is enough material for a video all its own. Here are a few safety tips.
Towel bars should be replaced with non-slip grab bars securely fixed to wall studs. Adjustable raised toilet seats with grab bars or grab bars next to the toilet. The bathtub floor should be covered with a non-slip surface or the use of a bath bench.
Not only can we adjust the environment to make it safer and more accessible, but we can adjust the mobility device itself to increase maneuverability. Wheelchairs, for example.
The width of a chair determines its ability to pass through a narrow area, and the chair's length affects its capacity to turn in tight spaces. These can be adjusted to a certain extent. Users of lightweight chairs often camber out their wheels like this to get increased maneuverability, but this of course can impede access through narrow spaces. Chair length is influenced by footrest type and angle. There are footrests that can detach or swing away to allow for greater maneuverability. With some chairs, you can also adjust the center of gravity to increase maneuverability.
In conclusion, the effectiveness of home assessment for mobility device use is ultimately measured by outcomes. A successful assessment will help to promote the return to optimal activities of daily living and help reduce preventable hospital admissions.